Hey, Jim.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, man. Welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
back.
another podcast.
Another one.
Yeah,
What episode?
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost a mini-series.
It's amazing. You're
It's
right.
almost a Netflix mini-series.
So that was your week, all right?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing just trying to get some errands done. You think being
You know
retired, you would have a lot of time.
Listen, I got to tell you, you heard about this thing called Call Richard?
He's not doing anything.
Listen, yesterday I tried to call Richard. I needed a ride.
And I didn't get back to him in time.
Yeah. So if you're going to be
working on something.
if you're going to be Call Richard, you need to be there.
Yeah, keep trying.
Yeah,
if I don't get back to you right away. If you can give me a
Anyhow,
day advance, that would help.
that would help. He's not doing anything, so I
Right.
called him.
I think I was doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, any feedback or comments on last week's open house episode?
I'm trying to think. My one buddy thought the Justin's hot mom was pretty fun, and they also liked the flowers.
The flower, yeah. Well,
flowers.
Mrs. McHugh, I tell you,
Yeah, that went over well.
It went over well. Rehash those days from 30 years ago or whatever. Yeah.
Remember,
Anyhow,
Mike.
how's
women never forget.
They don't forget. You're right. How's that Instagram count going?
Instagram. Let me quick check here. Let me see. 78,941.
Wow, we're up.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Almost 100,000 followers.
I want to fill you guys in on a couple things. Some people are having trouble finding our show.
Yes.
We're on Spotify and on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Basic Teacher Talk.
Yeah.
We're soon to be on Apple.
Soon.
Working on adding it to Apple Podcasts. So look for that. There may be a name change. Teacher Talk, and I think you specified this, that it's really not just for teachers.
No, it's not. That's not our intention.
We may be going old school.
Old school.
Yeah, because we're two old guys.
Right.
Got some
and we
old
went
school
to school.
Story. So remember, it's for everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes. So anyhow, not sure what's going on today, but Jim reminded me something.
Okay, today is
September
21st.
And in Munich, Germany.
Munich, yes.
Munich, Germany.
Yep.
I think
this is the official day. This is their official
start. I think it's the 198th.
189th.
I'm a little dyslexic there.
Yeah, well, hey.
189th
dyslexic.
Oktoberfest. Wow.
And that's the place to be.
That is the place to be.
That's the heartbeat right there.
So I have another brewery that I like to preview if you want to. This is called Warwick Farm Brewery.
Oh.
It's actually close to my house. It's one of my favorite breweries. Mm-hmm. There's a couple selections of beer right there.
Right.
Let's try a Warwick Light.
Real quick, how long is Octoberfest?
Oh, Octoberfest goes from September 21st till October 6th.
6th.
Yeah, so
but most people think it starts in October.
Yeah, it's not. September 21st.
You miss almost half of it by the time you figure out.
But it's been going on for
raging already.
Right. So let's give it a shot. Okay. Warwick Farm Brewery.
Yeah.
Warwick Light.
Went there a lot.
Yeah.
Nice, close.
And I got to tell you, for a local brewery, their selection is fantastic.
Yeah.
I believe
for everybody.
I believe for their Octoberfest, they have a harvest ale and a imperial pumpkin.
Everybody loves the pumpkin.
Yeah, they love it.
I don't, but a lot of people do. Actually, I've never really had it. That's good, man.
It's good.
It's smooth.
And be honest, not many breweries or local breweries will do a light.
Yeah. No, they don't. You got the hoppy, the IPA.
They usually do the IPAs. Warwick's famous for their hazy IPAs.
Hazy.
Yeah, people love their hazy IPAs, but that is in front of me or in front of you.
What do we got there, Mike?
There's a couple of the ghosts.
Okay, we got the German style sour.
Yeah, they have a couple sours that are pretty good.
Okay.
And they also do a great cider. So for people who just don't drink beer, they do a cider.
Yeah,
I think
Farmhouse cider, cherry cider.
Yeah, they also do a seltzer. So
a seltzer, they're big.
Yeah,
they're big now.
They have a big selection. They have a big selection.
Yeah, some for everybody.
Yeah, some for everybody.
Yeah, the ciders and the seltzers. People tearing up the seltzers, man. So yeah, they got smart. Give the people
variety. Give them what they want.
Give them what they want, man.
So Jim, I got to tell you, since it is the first day of Octoberfest,
you
know what? Maybe we cut this podcast short and we go to Warwick.
Another mini field trip?
I love those field
trips.
trips.
The field trips.
Maybe another field trip to Warwick Farm Brewery for their Octoberfest.
Yes.
I think.
And we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
I would think so.
So this is going to be a short podcast. I think we're going to hold our homecoming podcast closer to homecoming.
Yes.
Homecomings are coming up, but we're going to hold our homecoming for another podcast.
Possibly some guests, maybe our first.
Yeah, maybe our first guest.
People are asking
maybe
a lot.
some homecoming personalities.
People are always, one of the first questions people ask, "Are you going to have guests on there?" I said, "Sure, why not?" But we haven't gotten them here yet.
We haven't gotten them
here. We're working on that.
We're working on that. So I think today maybe we'll just leave you guys with a story.
Right.
No
topic, no subject.
Yeah, no subject. Just I have a story for you, and it's kind of maybe like a follow up to last week. We did a little tribute to the Kelsey brothers.
Yes.
We did a little tribute to the Eagles. Yeah. Okay, so this not really a tribute to those guys, but the Eagles are playing this week in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And I have a funny story.
Okay.
I taught LS to ID students, and my students would always say the darndest things, and people would always like, what are your students like? Well, one day one of my students comes in and says, "Mr. McHugh, that Katrina, that's a black person's name. Why are they always picking on black people?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, yeah. Did you hear there's a hurricane coming to New Orleans, and they named it after a black person? I'm like, "They didn't name it after a black person." He goes, "They did. They're always picking on black people." I said, "They're not picking on black people."
No.
I said, "That Katrina, that's not a black person's name. I think it's like Eastern European."
Yeah, I would think like Katrina Witt. Remember
Correct.
her? The Olympics?
Yeah. So I said, "Listen, go sit down. I'll explain how hurricanes are named." So I decide to go on the board. I look up, I Google like the list of the hurricanes, and I write them on the board. And I say, "Look, the first hurricane was Albert, and then we had Betty," and I explain how it goes in alphabetical order, and then it goes from a male to a female.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah, they start.
I was just about to ask. Is it always a woman's name? It seems like the worst ones are.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
So
I wasn't sure. He said Albert.
Well, there was a Hurricane Michael that was a pretty big hurricane, and I think it was in the 60s or 70s.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, so I write on the board. I do the Albert, then the Betty.
Oh, it's every other one.
Yeah, and so I get down the list and I say, and Katrina just happens to be the next K. And he's like, "No, that isn't right." And I said, "Listen, I just Googled the hurricanes, and I said there's another hurricane forming in the Gulf, and they're going to name that hurricane Lee."
Lee, okay.
And he says, "Damn it! Now they're picking on the Chinese."
Oh man! Got it all covered there. All covered.
So anyhow,
there you go.
That happens to explain my students and what they're thinking.
Right.
But they get confused.
It's logical. I mean,
I guess.
Follows,
I don't know. Yeah, it follows.
Katrina. Yeah.
So what about you?
I don't know.
Last week,
you mentioned something about Jay Leno.
Yeah, I didn't mention something about Jay Leno.
I
you
to school.
Well, I think one of your parents came in. Yeah,
right.
You get that all the time sometimes, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of followed you around.
Yeah, I can't really shake it. Just kind of roll with it. So, yeah, no matter where I go, it just seems to people don't know my name or. I don't know. They just like to yell Leno or something. I don't know.
Never heard that before.
Never heard that.
Never heard that before.
People was like, "Did anybody ever tell you?" I go, "No." And they're like, "Really?" I go, "No." I get it all the time, man. So anyway, the one time, not even just local. This is nationwide.
Nationwide. Well, you were in California on the Tonight Show. So
yes.
You've gone global.
You got me on that one. So the one time. We're down in Florida. My parents, my mom especially, always want to take the family to Disney.
Oh, that's
right. That's the American dream. So, we get down there, and I don't know. She went out like one morning. She woke up and went to get coffee at the place we were staying. It was like a little campus or whatever. So she's just walking to get coffee, and just happens to the two people in front of her just happen to have these Pensbury jackets on, which is one of the districts I subbed at. So. my mom was like you. She'll just start talking to anybody. So she's like, "Excuse me, do you teach there?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we teach at Pennsbury." And she's like, "Oh, okay." She goes, maybe you know my son. He substitutes there." And they're like, "Oh, what's his name?" And they're like, she's like, "Jim Richard." And they're like, "Nah, that doesn't ring a bell." So she goes, "Well," she goes, "people think he looks like Jay Leno." And they're like, "Oh, that guy. Yeah, everybody knows that guy." She goes, they're like, "We really didn't know his real name. We just told the secretary, hey, I'm going to be out Tuesday. Can you get Leno in here to cover my class?"
So,
if you ever meet me, you forget my name. just do what everybody else does. Just Leno, Jay, whatever way you want to roll with that.
I tell you.
So even down in Florida.
Even in Florida.
Just yell it out. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Tahoe, I forgot. Real quick one. We got to Lake Tahoe for the
for the
golf tournament. Celebrity golf tournament.
Yeah, last week we talked about that.
I forgot about this.
It's where you met the Kelsey brothers.
Yes, met the Kelseys out there, Mahone, everybody. So the one time I remember I was going up to get some food at like a stand, and this woman's looking at me, and all of a sudden she starts smiling. She's like, "I know who you are." And I'm like, "What?" I was like, she goes, "Jay Leno, right?" I go, "No, I'm not Jay Leno." I go, "He's not big into golf." And she goes, "Man, you look just like him." I said, "Yeah, give me some chicken fingers and fries."
I'm sure Jay Leno wouldn't be in line for refreshments.
No. I heard he eats like pizza every day.
I wonder if he's ever been there for that Lake Tahoe.
No, I don't think he's big into
He's
golf,
not.
But he go to like an auto show or something.
Oh, okay.
Like SEMA. Yeah. It's like a huge.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
like
he's
that.
there for
Yeah.
that.
He's got that Jay Leno's garage.
And he's got a museum
out
in California. Yeah, I'd like to check that out. But it's like a giant airplane hangar. It's just like hundreds of
it's
cars.
His stuff.
It's all his stuff. Yeah. So.
All right.
If you're out there.
Yeah, I know. So listen, I hate to cut this short, but
we got to get moving.
We got to get moving. We're going to take this show on the road. So thanks for joining us. This is a quick podcast. We will be posting videos from Octoberfest. So look for an extended version of this podcast. Right. If you're on Spotify, just listening to us.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week for hopefully a homecoming episode. And we'll see you guys later. Yeah. Don't forget. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, sharing's big. Please
huge.
Share.
Yeah.
All right, Jim.
All right. Thanks,
we'll hit the road.
Let's go, man.
All right. Here we are.
All right.
Warwick Farm Brewery. Another field trip. Octoberfest 2024.
All right. Nice entrance here. Watch your step. All right.
You want to get the door?
Oh, sorry. Got the food truck. It's locked. You're just going here.
I guess so.
I don't know why. That's not a good start.
It's a good start. I don't think it's a private party.
Oh.
Well, maybe it's a private party, but we're going to get a beer anyway. Yeah, I saw it.
I was trying to get that in.
Cool.
Yo, here we are. Oktoberfest, Warwick Farm Brewery.
Oh, good wraparound there, Mike.
That was pretty good.
Nice job.